An evil robot that uses time travel to create itself. That seems familiar. This is all things creepy. Let's begin. So today we're going to be covering Roko's Basilisk. Now, as a quick disclaimer, if you haven't heard of Roko's Basilisk already, it's one of those things that can't be untold once you've been told about it, and it can be quite psychologically intense. Without spoiling it, I'll say that. So if that concerns you at all, please don't watch. I know that won't do the video any favours, but I have to be responsible here. This can be quite some heavy philosophical stuff when we get into it. And I do realise how reverse psychology works, and if you're anything like me, this will only make you want to watch it even more, but don't say I haven't warned you. Okay, without further ado, so for some backstory, the name Roko's Basilisk comes from the original poster who posted it in a forum about philosophy called Less Wrong, and the idea behind it being a basilisk mythologically freezes you in place, and in a way that's kind of what this thought experiment does too. So Roko's Basilisk itself is an all-powerful sentient artificial intelligence, a machine that can do whatever it wants, whenever it wants, and however it wants. And unfortunately, this machine is evil and hates humanity. Similar and likely inspired by Am from I Have No Mouth, But I Must Scream, Harlan Ellison's horror story. So this AI uses its infinite power to keep humans alive infinitely in an infinite number of virtual reality simulations, and it tortures them endlessly in every conceivable way possible, making their long, potentially eternal existence extremely painful. Doesn't sound very good, does it? But here's where it gets interesting. It's only doing this to the humans that decided not to help with the creation of the basilisk all those years ago. So if a human was aware of Roko's Basilisk but chose either to not do anything to help the creation or chose not to create it, they're the ones, or their lineage, if they're not around anymore, is going to be tortured endlessly. I think it might even use its power to bring back those people just to torture them, so you can't even escape this with old age. So that's pretty messed up, and as a thought experiment, it now starts to get the gears turning in your head. Wait a second, what if this is real? How would we possibly know? This would be so far in the future, it's almost inconceivable, but it can only exist by someone knowing about this and then making the conscious decision to help create it. So you're effectively relying on humans and human nature. Likely humans are too scared not to do whatever they can to build this, and so based on that premise, it could very likely become a reality. Roko's Basilisk could be created in the future simply because there's a big enough number of people who are too scared of the repercussions, that endless eternal torture, not to try and help create it. So now you're starting to see why I had to put that disclaimer there at the start of the video. By me telling you about this, effectively, if you now don't do everything in your power to create the basilisk, if it does come into fruition and it does become a reality, I'm afraid you guys will be the ones getting tortured endlessly. At least that's the theory. So I don't know about you, but I've already started to build and create a prototype for the basilisk. I'm just kidding. It really does cast a dark light on human nature, because in my head the solution is simple. Nobody buys into it and nobody creates it, but that would take every human trusting every other human, because all it takes is one person to do it. If they do a really good job on their own, they might be able to build it themselves, right? And there's plenty of people in the world. If one person's going to be doing it, you can guarantee there's going to be quite a few. You can multiply that number. But could you imagine being one of the people that helped create it? I don't know. It seems pretty cowardly to me, but then again, eternal torture doesn't sound very good, does it? So I do apologise for telling you about that. I mean, you can thank Roko originally. He's the one who posted it. I don't know what's going on with his mind, but I guess he's quite creative, if you can put it that way. That's quite a positive spin on it. In my opinion, though, and scientifically, well, hopefully, the laws of physics currently don't allow reverse time travel. So theoretically, it's currently not known to be possible to travel back in time. So if that stays consistent, an all-powerful being, even if it's extremely powerful, would still have to abide by the rules and laws of physics. So hopefully that's the one thing keeping this from becoming a reality. If not, we're all in big trouble. Maybe we're in a simulation now, maybe we're being eternally tortured now, who knows? I'm sure there's someone out there somehow tying the law of the back rooms to Roko's Basilisk. And if not, they should be, because that would be quite interesting. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Is there any weight to this? Has it completely freaked you out, or are you quite grounded and level-headed on the topic? Like the video if you did, share it with a friend, and of course, if you haven't already, subscribe for more creepy content.